A Chinese lab fresh off its IPO just handed the world a 754 billion parameter model and asked for nothing in return. On April 7, 2026, Z.AI released GLM 5.1 under the permissive MIT license on Hugging Face, and it reportedly tops SWE Bench Pro at 58.4, edging out GPT 5.4, Claude Opus 4.6 and Gemini 3.1 Pro. Over the next few minutes we will unpack what GLM 5.1 actually is, how its architecture works, and our honest take on what it means. Let us start with the core idea behind GLM 5.1 open weights. Here are the essentials of GLM 5.1 open weights in plain language, what it is and why it was introduced. GLM 5.1 is a mixture of experts model with 754 billion total parameters, but only around 44 billion activate per token. That sparse design keeps inference costs manageable while still reaching frontier-level reasoning and coding performance. Z.AI published the full weights on Hugging Face under the org-xiorg as GLM 5, released under the permissive MIT license on April 7, 2026. Both standard and FP8 quantized versions are available for download and deployment. The model carries a 200,000 token context window and is designed for long agentic work, reportedly sustaining hundreds of tool calling rounds in a single session. That makes it suited to extended coding and automation tasks. On SWE Bench Pro, GLM 5.1 reportedly scores 58.4, ahead of GPT 5.4 at 57.7, Claude Opus 4.6 at 57.3, and Gemini 3.1 Pro at 54.2. It was trained on Huawei Ascend hardware for supply chain independence. Now let us look at why GLM 5.1 open weights matters in practice. Here is where GLM 5.1 open weights shows up in real products, teams, and decisions. Here is our take. An MIT-licensed frontier model means teams can self-host without per-token fees or usage restrictions. We think that pressures closed labs on price far more than another proprietary release ever could. Topping SWE Bench Pro by 0.7 points over GPT 5.4 is real but razor-thin. We would not overread a single benchmark. The durable advantage here is the license and self-hosting, not the leaderboard position. Training on Huawei Ascend rather than NVIDIA is the underrated story. We see this as evidence that competitive frontier models can now ship outside the NVIDIA ecosystem, which has real implications for export controls and supply chains. Our recommendation: if you run long tool calling agents, pilot GLM 5.1 on your own tasks before switching. With third-party API access reportedly around $1 input and roughly $3 output per million tokens, it is cheap enough to evaluate seriously this quarter. Let us recap the key takeaways on GLM 5.1 open weights and what to do next. GLM 5.1 is a 754 billion parameter mixture of experts model with roughly 44 billion active parameters and a 200,000 token context window, tuned for long agentic sessions with extensive tool calling. Z.AI released the full weights under the MIT license on Hugging Face on April 7, 2026, in both standard and FP8 versions, making frontier-class performance freely deployable. It reportedly leads SWE Bench Pro at 58.4, ahead of GPT 5.4, Claude Opus 4.6, and Gemini 3.1 Pro, while running on Huawei Ascend hardware rather than NVIDIA. For teams that prefer a hosted option, third-party providers reportedly price the API near $1 per million input tokens and around $3 per million output, low enough to test against your real workloads. GLM 5.1 is a reminder that the open weight frontier is moving fast, and we will keep breaking down each release as it lands. If structured, certification-ready training is what you are after next, head to standarity.com to explore our full catalog. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one.